Hello peeps. So quick little video answering questions. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have all of the therapists in your area. The views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or anybody else for that matter. Alrighty then. Also, let's do a little housekeeping. So tomorrow, March 23rd, which is tomorrow. Did I mention that? Tomorrow. Changing Hands Bookstore in Tempe, Arizona. I will be doing my book signing of You Can Lead a Horse to Water. And of course, I don't have the book out here. It's in the other room. You Can Lead a Horse to Water, but you can't make him do the cha-cha at 7 p.m. Be there. Aloha. Yeah, so there's that. The other thing is to please don't leave me novels, guys. I don't have time to read them. Please keep it short. Keep it short, keep it short, keep it short. Please, 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 please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, good morning, guys. Okay, so book signing tomorrow. Tomorrow, Changing Hands Bookstore, 7 p.m. A little nervous about that. Performance anxiety. All right, so there's that. So Changing Hands Bookstores tomorrow, 7 p.m., Tempe, Arizona. Be there. I'll be doing a little bit of a lecture, probably half an hour or so, and then I'm going to ask questions or take questions, and then I'll do the book signing. So there's that. Oh, the Chihuahuas are singing to me. Okay, it's our neighbors' Chihuahuas. They're so funny. All right, so I got some questions that I did not get a chance to answer the last time. So what is transference and countertransference? Okay, transference and countertransference. So transference is when a client comes in and sits down and they project stuff onto the counselor. It generally happens in psychotherapy. It's very Freudian. I very rarely see that happening in my practice because I do CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. I do not take on the role of the blank screen or the role of the mother or the father or whatever bullshit Freud wanted to have therapists do. So, nearly drowned while eating my muesli this morning. I got pulled in by a strong current. That's a good one. I like that. Okay, so all right. So transference is when the client comes in, sits down on the couch. This happens in psychotherapy, where the therapist is supposed to be a blank screen, and the person is supposed to project onto the therapist all of their issues. Well, what will happen is that they will suddenly make the therapist the problem. The therapist is the mom, the therapist is the dad, the therapist is whatever. That's transferring. They're transferring their stuff onto the therapist. Countertransference is when the therapist gets triggered by a client and then they start transferring their shit onto the client. No bueno. You don't want that. That's bad therapy. So that very rarely happens with CBT. It very rarely happens in DBT. It mostly happens with psychotherapy, where you're lying on a couch, lie on the couch and tell me about your mother and your father, that kind of thing. So I'm not a huge Freud fan. Freud can go, fuck himself sideways with an unlubricated baseball bat, as far as I'm concerned. So that's transference and countertransference. That happens in psychotherapy mostly. It usually does not happen in CBT, DBT, any of the more modern modalities. Okay, I mean, it can still happen. You can still have it happen. It's very rare. So, okay. I think I got all the questions from that one. What did I do with the other one? There it is. All right. Okay. So more on what I was talking about last week. So we were talking about sexual abuse. So here's a little trigger warning here. So is it common for abusers to either, if they're female, to get pregnant to keep the target of abuse in the relationship, or is it common for a male abuser to get the female pregnant to keep them in the relationship? Yes, absolutely. That happens all the time. And if it cannot happen naturally, they'll force it. So let's say that the abuser wants to, let's say the abuser is a female and wants to keep the guy, but the pregnancy is not happening. They'll force artificial insemination. They'll demand it. They'll insist on getting pregnant and use guilt and and religion and everything else to force the target of abuse to give in, to get pregnant. So now they've got them for the next 18 years. You bet. They absolutely do that. Okay, and then is threatening to kill themselves if they don't get pregnant a form of abuse? Yes, absolutely. Get me pregnant or I'll kill myself. Yeah, that's the total. I'm sorry, you never use suicide as a bargaining chip. That's That is bull tinky. So yeah, that they will do that. They will absolutely do that. They will absolutely, you know, try to get you to get to them pregnant, or the male will try to get the person pregnant accidentally on purpose, not use a condom. All sorts of, tell them that, you know, again, rape by deception, tell them that they're sterile when they're not, you know, that kind of thing. Oh, there you go. CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving is on Kindle Unlimited. Excellent, excellent. Because I've had people tell me it's out of print, and I'm like, it shouldn't be out of print. But yeah, so Kindle Unlimited. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Thank you, Susan. Okay. So yeah, they will use pregnancy as a way to trap and manipulate the target of abuse. You bet your sweet bippy, that absolutely happens. And they'll either force the idea of pregnancy, they'll demand artificial insemination, or if it's a guy, they'll lie and say that they're sterile and say that they, you know, or that they, you know, I'm using a condom when they're not, and you know, all that bad bueno, bad stuff. No bueno, no bueno. Okay, let me see, hold on just a second. Okay, what to do if an abuser just shows up at the door? Okay, this is a question. So I've had several people write in and tell me that abusers just show up. Just, you know, that you've gone no contact. There's, you know, may not be an order of protection in place. They just show up. Here's the deal. I gotta drink some water. Hang on. So if there is there is no soda in here, so it's just a cup. Okay, if an abuser shows up at your door, don't answer it. You are under no obligation to answer your door. Most doors have a peephole that you can look out and see who's there. Or we have the Ring system, which I absolutely love. Hello, Nevada. We have the Ring system, which I absolutely love, where no matter where in the house I am, no matter if I'm in the backyard or if I'm, you know, somewhere off in the den or doing whatever, or I'm at work, I can look to see who's at the front door and I don't have to respond. So you are under no obligation to respond. If you'll notice, a lot of us who are codependent are very feeling obligated to do things. We feel obligated to answer the phone. We feel obligated to return a text. We feel obligated to answer the door. You are under no obligation whatsoever to do any of those things. If you got a number that's coming in and you don't want it, bye-bye. You don't answer it. You know, if a text comes in from somebody you don't want to talk to, you don't respond. You are under no obligation. Give yourself permission to not respond. That's the thing. We don't. It's like because of the codependency. So I'm drooling here. Good God. So what I would do is I would read Harriet Breaker, The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, or in addition to the Codependent No More or Beyond Codependent No More, both by M. Beatty. Those are fantastic, fantastic books. Yeah. Lucy, so my trainer, I have to drink like 100 ounces of water a day. So this is about, I think it's 32 ounces. So that's why I use it, because it's like, oh, I can measure it and know how much I'm drinking. So that's awesome. Okay, the narc is now with new supply that seems just like him and a narc. How long will it last? Are they in love? After 5 days and lots of sex, yet are 2 hours apart, he is cheating on her as he did with me. He's dragging me through smear campaign and the court system. He posted revenge porn of me. That's illegal, guys. You can sue them for that. Revenge porn, you can sue them for that. Abso-freaking-lutely. There are laws on the books about that, federal, I believe. How do I deal with it? You get a lawyer. Get a lawyer, get a lawyer, get a lawyer, get a lawyer. I know they're expensive, guys. I know it. But let me tell you something. You need a good therapist and a good lawyer to go after these assholes. You do. And you need a good lawyer that understands domestic violence. So for me, I have partnered with a couple of lawyers in my BNI group, and I have educated the living crap out of them. And it's so funny because Brent loves to go after the bad guys. So he's on board totally. So, you know, you find somebody that is, you know, understands domestic violence, understands that it's not just black eyes, it's verbal. That's what I gotta get everybody to understand. It's like, abuse is not what we think it is. In the movies and TVs, they portray it as physical. It can be. Abso-freaking-lutely it can be. But 9 times out of 10, it's verbal. It's emotional. It's manipulative. It is insidious. It is, what's the word I'm looking for? It is underhanded. It is under the current. It is below decks. It's covert. You betcha. Until they become grandiose, in which case it's obvious to everybody and their dog, Trump. So, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, all right. Okay. Okay. It doesn't matter how long it will last, sweetie. They're going to be with whoever they're going to be. They're going to cheat. They're going to do whatever they're going to do. You need to stop worrying about what they're doing. Move on. Take care of you. And absolutely, if they're doing revenge porn and you can prove it, go after them tooth and nail legally. Get yourself a good lawyer. Go to town. Seriously. And we cannot afford not to have a good lawyer. When you are going up against a narcissist, they will do everything in the book. They will lie, they will cheat, they will steal, they will make up stories, they will play on emotions, they will do whatever they think they need to win. Remember, for a narcissist, it is always about the win. They don't give a fuck about the kids. They don't care about you. They don't care about anybody. They just need to win so that they have got the win. Oh, it's for the win. You know, that kind of thing. They don't care. They just want to win. So that's why you need a good attorney that's going to smack them back down where they frickin' belong. So there's that. Block the number, have no contact, document everything you possibly can, get an attorney, and if they have done revenge porn, you sue the living crap out of them because it is illegal. That is illegal. Hello? Illegal. Get an attorney. All right. Integrative psych. Okay, so my therapist, not my psychologist, insists that there is anger to be expressed. I don't sense it within myself, so I'm second guessing, should I trust the process or give up on therapy? Well, here's the thing. When we've been in abuse, and again, this goes back to codependency. When we've been in abuse, we tend to turn that anger inside, and we take it out on ourselves in ways that we don't even recognize. So let's think about it. When somebody has harmed us, and we're in the middle of an abuse situation, what do? We apologize. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made you angry. I'm sorry I made you say that. I'm sorry. We start apologizing for our existence. Come on. So we're displacing where it really, the anger should be on the abuser. We should be like, no, you don't get to fucking talk to me like that, you asshole. You know what I'm saying? So I do suspect that there is anger there, absolutely, because we as codependents turn that anger inside and we turn it into the whole, I'm sorry for my existence. I'm sorry I did this. I'm sorry I did that. I'm sorry. We apologize for everything. And what we're doing is we're apologizing for us even being on the planet. And that is actually internalized anger. So Mario, I would stick with it for a while. If you're still not getting something out of it, like 3 to 6 months from now, then revisit, you know, and see if there's maybe a different type of therapy that would work better for you. But yeah, we do have a lot of anger that is unexpressed, that is unrecognized. That's the crazy thing. So it's like when we leave an abusive relationship, and this is going to be some of what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow night at Changing Hands, 7 o'clock, March 23rd, be there, Tempe, Arizona. I'm going to be talking about that, shameless plug. I'm going to be talking about how when we leave an abusive relationship, there is a very large part of us that desperately wants to reunite with the abuser because of the intermittent positive rewards. And so we put the blame for the entire relationship on us as opposed to going, damn, that person's batshit crazy. What the fuck? You see where I'm going with that? So you want to really, you know, take a look at how you are internalizing the anger that really should be placed onto the abuser, onto yourself. And we don't even recognize it. We don't. It, you know, and it can express itself in several ways. One, it can come out as that whole mea culpa, mea maxima culpa thing. I'm sorry, my fault, all my fault. You know, or we do the displaced anger horizontal. Oh my God, it's horizontal anger. That took me a week. Okay, horizontal anger is where it goes out sideways, lateral. Yeah, absolutely. So it goes out sideways. And we displace it onto safer targets. So we're angry all the time, kind of like the Incredible Hulk, but we take it out on people that it doesn't really belong to. So that's probably something to take a look at. So can't answer that for you, except that, trust me, there is anger there. Want to take a look and see if it's being internalized or if you are doing it laterally, horizontally, and taking it out on people that it doesn't belong to. The anger needs to go back onto the original abuser and back onto whoever you used to try to fix that original wound. Work on that. Okay, just bought the Disease to Please because you recommended it. Cool, I hope it's helping, Helen. Have you heard of From Charm to Harm and Everything Else in Between with a Narcissist by Gregory Zafuto? No, I haven't. I will need to read that book. I love Brent. Yeah, he's awesome. He rocks the Casbah. Okay, let's see. Internal linker, the reason why my husband takes blame for things he didn't do at work. Yep, it's codependency. So when we take blame for things that are not ours, that is a boundary issue. That is a self-esteem issue, because people have got good self-esteem. When somebody walks up to me, like, okay, prime example, I have had narcissists sit down on the couch and say it was all my fault that they got divorced. Okay, I saw you twice before you got divorced. I tend to doubt I was that big of an influence. You know what I'm saying? So, and, you know, the ability to go, no, you were in a 30, 40-year marriage and it ended. You know, this is on you, dude, not on me, period. So a codependent person would be like, oh, I'm sorry, you're right. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you got divorced. Do you see where I'm going with that? It's a boundary thing. Boundaries and self-esteem. You know, if I've done something, then yeah, I will absolutely take responsibility for it. There's a difference between blame and responsibility. So people at work in toxic environments at work, they will shame, blame, guilt trip, fear, obligation, and guilt, and make subordinates feel like it's their fault if the company's not doing well. So that's blaming and shaming. If there's blaming and shaming and you're taking responsibility for stuff going south that is not your responsibility, then Houston, you got a problem. It's probably codependency, and it is probably a self-esteem issue. Get the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi. Get it, work it, live it, be it, do it. And then you also want to read M. Beatty's Codependent No More and Beyond Codependent No More. Both excellent books. The other book is The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. So there's that. Oh, jeez. Yeah, they will call on restricted numbers. They will call on friends' phones, Flying Monkeys phones. They will call from payphones. They will call for, if you don't recognize the number, do not answer. You are under no obligation to answer your phone. Make it go to voicemail. So yeah, absolutely. And then you can listen to the voicemail, and, you know, bonus, you've also now got them on tape. Absolutely. Oh my God, I just went off in the comments on a vid where a doctor claimed you can heal narcs by making them aware of their character. Wasn't Sam Vinkin by any chance, was it? He said he said this was only in the milder spectrum, but am I right that this is a harmful idea to tell victims? Yeah. So here's the deal. If someone is really in the traits of, like, honest to God, you know, they're not meeting the criteria, okay? They're not meeting the criteria. And they've just got a couple of traits of, that can be worked on, but that's not full narcissism, guys. It's not. It's traits of. It's kind of that arrogant, haughty, kind of full of themselves, a little bit of entitlement. But once they start hitting more than 1 or 2 of the criteria, then you're dealing, you know, because you need 5. There's a criteria of 9. You need to match 5, okay? So once you've hit, you know, those 5, you're full blown. And that that does not get better. It doesn't. They don't want to. They don't stick with therapy. They go 1 or 2 times and then they're peace out because the therapist is a fraud and a sham and this, that, and they know everything and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, it's harmful to everyone. You betcha. So traits of, yeah. So if you're dealing with traits of, yeah, you can help, you can guide somebody. So let's say somebody had a parent or a step-parent that was very narcissistic, but the other parent was pretty normal, relatively speaking. And so the kid kind of grows up with some bad learned behavior, fleas. Okay, we can help fix fleas. Fleas are doable if the basic character has got a moral compass. But most narcissists do not, let me just emphasize this, do not have a moral compass. To them, they will justify, rationalize, minimalize, deny, and come up with excuses for lying, cheating, you know, everything. So there's no moral compass. So if the person has no moral compass, Houston, there's no hope. Get the fuck out. Save yourself. Boom, shakalaka. There you go. Okay. Had others in the communities going, oh no, I should have gone back to heal my abuser. No, no, no. Bad Bunny, no biscuit. No, 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 no. Abso-freaking-lutely not. Abso-freaking-lutely not. You do not go back to heal an abuser. Absolutely not. Done. Are you done being abused? That's my question. Are you done being abused? If you're done being abused, stay the fuck away from them. No, you cannot heal it. Look, guys, if you are not a trained, licensed therapist that knows what you're doing, you're not going to make the situation better. It takes a therapist to do this. It does. It takes an outside person, because narcissists are arrogant, right? They think they know it all, right? So if they have traits of that and you're their love interest, right? And you're trying to help them codependent, how is this healthy? Plus the fact they're not going to listen to you, but they will listen to an outside third party sometimes, if they have traits of. So no, you should not go back. And yeah, Debbie, you're absolutely right to have gone off. Absolutely right to have gone off. Yeah, we all want to convince ourselves that our abuser has traits of. I'm sorry, if they're harming you, if they are putting you down, if they are making you less than, if they are making it so that you cannot hold a job, if they are making it so that you are no longer speaking to your children because they have demanded that those kids be out of your life, if they have demanded that your family be out of your life, if they have demanded that your friends be out of your life, if they have demanded that you give up your hobbies for them, Houston, they're abusers, period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Yeah. That's not traits of, that's full blown. All right, so sorry, there's my opinion on that. Okay, anger can be healthy. It's not always negative. Yeah, there is a place for anger, guys. There is a place for anger. But what we get told is, don't you dare be angry at me. That's what my dad always told me. Don't you dare be angry. I'll give you something to get angry about. Wow, thanks, Dad. You know, so we get taught at a very, or anger is a futile emotion. That was the other thing he would say. But yet he was the angriest motherfucker on the face of the planet. And he was brutal and he was vicious and he was violent. Wow. Hypocrite much? So they're allowed to be angry. They're allowed to have that emotion. But if we get angry at them for the abuse, what do? They twist it, turn it around on us and tell us that we're POSs because how dare we get angry? So yeah, anger is normal, guys. It is part of the fight, flight, freeze, or fawn syndrome, okay? So when we get a threat that comes in, so here's the amygdala. The amygdala is an almond-shaped organ, sits about an inch inside of each ear. When a threat comes into the amygdala is stupid, like 3 O's, stupid, like stupid. It cannot tell the difference between a real threat, a thought about a real threat, a future threat, a past threat, an emotional threat, a thought about an emotional threat. It's all happening right here and now. The amygdala has no time. So when the threat comes in, that's why we start that reaction and start panicking, because we're like, oh my God, it's happening right now. It's because what our brain is telling us. So the amygdala sends off a distress signal to the hippocampus and the hypothalamus that sit on either side of it. They tell the brain to release cortisol. Cortisol is our stress hormone. We start tensing up. Why? Because we're getting ready to fight, run away, flight, freeze like a bunny rabbit. I'm just going to stay here until the danger goes away. Or fawn, I'm going to give in to the abuser so I don't get hurt more. So that's like with rape type of thing. So like, you know, a lot of the time women in domestic violence situations, and sometimes men, when the abuser is pushing sex and they're going to become violent if you don't give in to them, they give in. That's fawning. That's called fawning. And it's a survival mechanism, not a very good one, but it is a survival mechanism. So fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. Anger. So then what happens is now we're tense. There's no oxygen CO2 exchange going on, and that tells another part of the brain, a little reptilian part of the brain further down on the brainstem, holy shit, we're going to die. So then that tells the adrenal gland that sits on top of the kidneys, release all the adrenaline at once. So now we've got all of this adrenaline running through our body, all this extra energy, because we're getting ready to, you know, run away, kill something, freeze, or give in, right? There's nowhere to run, nothing to kill. Not legally. There's you can't really freeze on the 101, not a good idea. Fawning, not always the best idea. So what happens is at this point, we either do one of two reactions. We either go into a full-blown panic attack, which is the stereotypical, oh my God, I can't breathe, boom, right? Whew, head rush. Or you go into a rage attack, anger. It is a protection. It's a way to keep people the fuck away from you. It is the Incredible Hulk or She-Hulk reaction. And when people are angry, most sane people avoid angry people. So it's a way to keep people at arm's length. So anger is a normal reaction to a threat. What happens though to victims, targets, I hate victims, but targets of abuse is we get to that point and we either go into the panic attack or we internalize the anger and it's all our fault. I can't get angry at the abuser. It's not safe. It's my fault. Mea culpa, mea culpa, mea maxima. I'm a horrible person. I'm a terrible person. I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other thing. Somehow I did this. Somehow I created this. Somehow. Do you see where I'm going with that? So anger must be redirected in the correct place that it belongs to. So this is why I love punching bags. Because remember, naturally kids are very physical. So when a kid is processing stuff, they'll go get physical first and then they'll emotionally process it. Sometimes that does not leave us. I like to get physical when I'm processing anger. I like to get physical, not physical like hurting somebody, but I have a punching bag. I've got one of those Bob, those shaped like a human punching bags, and I will go do some kickboxing on it, and then I will process what I'm thinking and feeling. So that's a great way to kind of access it. If you can't get it through the emotions, maybe going at it physically first, then get to the emotions. That's usually what ends up happening. And usually what ends up happening for me is I'll be working out on the punching bag and kicking it and all this stuff, and then I'll realize, well, shit, I'm hurt, and then I'll start crying. So, it's kind of like, okay. Because in my family, it wasn't safe. My dad was abusive. He would beat the living crap out of me, and vulnerable emotions were not tolerated in any way, shape, or form. If I cried, that was his cue to swoop in and go for the jugular. So it's harder for me still to get to the crying, although I'm getting better about it, and it depends on who I'm around, to get to the crying and the softer emotions than it is to get to the anger. Anger was always my go-to. The joke in my family was always like, this is Chris happy. This is Chris sad. This is Chris relaxing. Because I was angry all the time. Why? Because I had been abused as a kid. So there it is. So anger is healthy. It's normal. You got to redirect it into the right place. Writing letters and burning them is one great way to do it to the abuser. You pretended to be this way, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this. I am booting you out of my head, fuck you, whatever you need to say. Trot it out to the barbecue, read it out loud once, scream it out loud once, burn it, let it go. Work out on the punching bag. But access that anger and redirect it back towards the person it belongs to. It does not belong with you, it belongs with them. Okay, in case of dealing with psychopaths, it can be worthwhile to take the blame out of their bursts and rage in order to get away as safe as possible and as fast as possible. Yeah, psychopaths are a completely different animal. So they're dangerous and crazy, and that's where the fawning often comes in. I was in an abusive relationship. Now it's hard to be in a healthy relationship. I have a lot of anger and not fair to the other. Yes. So work on that with a therapist. Get with a goddamn good therapist and start working on placing that blame and that shame and that anger back onto the abuser, okay? That's where I love Pete Walker's CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving, available apparently on Kindle. CPTSD, Pete Walker, from Surviving to Thriving. It's by Pete Walker, CPTSD from Surviving to Thriving. Get that, because I think it's in chapter 3, it talks about putting the blame, the shame, and the anger righteously back onto the abuser. Do it. Absolutely. Because yeah, we will take it out on the safer lateral, horizontal, the safer target. And we don't want that. We just don't. Okay, just left him and not responded to anything for the last 8 months. Returned all presents, but I still can't get over him. It's not like I miss him, but there is something there that keeps me stuck. It's the intermittent positive rewards. It's the addiction. That's the addiction part. You are in withdrawal. You're in withdrawal, baby doll. You're in withdrawal. Yeah, that's exactly, and you keep wondering what and where he is. Okay, breathe. We all go through this. We all go through this. There is not a person on here that does not go through this. So we are as addicted to the intermittent positive rewards as a heroin addict is to heroin, okay? So it's the withdrawal part, because we miss the mirroring. We miss it when they love bombed us. We miss it when they appeared to be our match. Oh my God, this person's perfect. They're like fun and happy and healthy and whole and this and that, and they like spaghetti and they like pizza, and oh my gosh, look, it's just like from Hans and Princess Anna. Hans, the bad guy, and from Frozen, you like pizza? I like pizza. You like ice skating? I like ice skating. You like this? I like that. And they're a total fraud. Love fraud. Absolutely. So we miss that. That is the part that we miss. But what we don't understand is that we fell in love with ourselves. They mirrored us completely and totally. They mirrored us, and we fell in love with that. So here's the deal. You got to work on self-esteem. Fall back in love with yourself first. then you are fit to go out and find a mate. Because if you don't, you're going to fall for every single person that mirrors you. You've got to be you. You've got to work on you. You've got to work on the self-esteem. You've got to work on the boundaries. You've got to work on the codependency. And treat this like an addiction. Honest to God, get the 12 steps, start working them. And instead of using alcohol or drugs, you substitute, oh, my ex. Yeah, because that's a drug. It absolutely is. The intermittent positive rewards. Because this is like, I said it before, I'll say it again. I get so pissed off when people are like, I don't understand why he or she keeps going back because obviously they like it. Oh, go fuck yourself. What it is we are addicted to the intermittent positive rewards. We're not addicted to the abuse. We hate the abuse. We fucking hate the abuse. It's terrible. What we miss is when our abuser was love bombing us. We miss that. We miss that mirroring, and it's a high. And so when they're nice to us, we're like, oh, they're nice to us again. Oh God, maybe it's going to stay this time. Maybe it's going to stay. No, it's not going to stay. This sucks. This is horrible. This is awful. No, they're nice to me again. Okay, this is great. This is awesome. Oh my God, the high. And then it drops off again. We are addicted to the intermittent positive rewards, the upswing. We're not addicted to the abuse. And anybody who says that we are can go, yeah, you know what I'm saying. I get so sick of people saying that. It's like, you know what? How about you go do some research? There's an idea before you shoot it off your mouth. All right, there's that phone. Hold on. I got a phone ringing. Hang on. I want to make sure it's the thing I'm missing. Nope, I don't think it is. Okay. All right. So where was I? Okay. Okay. So it's the intermittent positive rewards. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Sorry, got way distracted. Hello. So the 12 steps. Work the 12 steps. I know it sounds stupid. It's like, well, why am I working the 12 steps? I wasn't addicted to alcohol or drugs. You're addicted to the intermittent positive rewards. Treat it just like an addiction. Treat it just exactly like an addiction. So I have a lot of people contacting me going, oh, I want to see you. I want to come move to Arizona just to see you. 2 missed calls and a voicemail. Ooh, maybe I need to respond to that one. Okay, guys, I'm going to cut this short, but I'll be right back on as soon as I handle this, okay? All right, I will talk to you soon. Bye.